Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt has confirmed that a Latin American Security Summit hosted by President Donald Trump will still take place in Florida this weekend. Trinidad and Tobago is among 12 countries invited to the summit. Prime Minister Kamla Bissessar will attend. My response: Trinidad and Tobago is now one of America's closest allies in the world, along with Israel. And I will definitely say here in our region, we are the #1 ally in the Western Hemisphere. This close diplomatic bond will benefit our country significantly, both economically and when it pertains to national security. I'm very proud of our Prime Minister for standing boldly with America. And hopefully one of these days, she will also say that she stands with Israel boldly, just like how Prime Minister Modi of India did recently. Don't go anywhere. More local, regional, and international news up next.
This weekend, I'm pleased to announce the President will welcome the heads of state from 12 nations across our Western Hemisphere in Miami, Florida on Saturday. The point of this newfound Latin America Summit is to promote freedom, security, and prosperity in our region. The following countries will be in attendance: Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Honduras, Panama, Paraguay, Trinidad and Tobago, and maybe some others as well. And the President will be speaking with the leaders of this country who have really formed a historic coalition to work together to address criminal narco-terrorist gangs and cartels and counter illegal and mass migration into not only the United States but the Western Hemisphere, which remains a key and top priority of this President.
Regional security expert, so-called expert, Dr. Gavin Hira says Trinidad and Tobago's fight against crime cannot succeed without the urgent reform of the prison system. Now, of course, he's correct about that, though. He says criminal activity is being directed from inside correctional facilities, undermining national security efforts. Exactly, everybody knows that. He believes the issue extends beyond rehabilitation, urging that structural weaknesses within the prison network are contributing to wider criminal operations. He's calling for a comprehensive audit and modernization of facilities, including upgraded intelligence capabilities and stronger internal controls. So that experts, or I don't know if we even have any experts in Trinidad, the kind of crime crisis we have taking place here, but an expert to some extent. My response: I'm not an expert either, of course. There's need for reforming both the prison system and the TTPS. And that's what I wish he would have said. Include the TTPS. It is undemocratic to use an SOE, state of emergency, to reduce crime because it suspends the constitutional rights of citizens for very long periods of time. Patriots who say, well, if you're a law-abiding citizen, you have nothing to worry about. What they do, they ignore the fact that citizens are also prohibited from protesting during an SOE, which means that Rowley's oppressive style of governance continues in certain, let me make that clear, certain ways, not all, under the Kamla Persad administration. Body cameras for police officers must be provided and mandated to ensure that they follow protocol while interacting with citizens, and all rogue elements need to be rooted out of the police service. We cannot accomplish that goal with punisher officers at the head of the police service. Why did I say punisher? Google it and you will see.
Because it is proven, and the data is there, that a number of crimes on the outside are actually triggered and initiated from behind prison walls. So we have a threat issue within the prison system, and that needs to be addressed imminently now, because as we speak, that continues to be a significant dent in the armor of national security.
Dr. Hira believes reform must focus not only on containment, but on transformation.
So I think there has to be a total review and audit of our present prisons system. And we have to also look at how we can treat with that in what is known as a highly technological aspect of how a prison needs to be structured. It's state of the art.
National Quarries Company Limited is operating at a major financial loss. That confirmation came from its chairman, Ashmed Ghani, as he appeared before the Parliament's Public Accounts Enterprises Committee on Wednesday. He revealed that the company is operating in red. 2020 to 2025, that's on the PNM. National Quarries recorded a total loss of $135.8 million. Management is so important. It's not companies that the problem, it's the management that makes it either fail or prosper. National Quarries received government subventions from years ending September 2022 to September 2025 to the sum of $154.57 million. Regional news up next. President Irfan Ali on Tuesday used his Pagua message to deliver a broader vision for Guyana, one rooted in unity, equality, and a sense of belonging for every citizen. And that, when I say every citizen, I mean even those that voted for the opposition parties, including the Win Party. In the video address, President Ali emphasized that nation building is not simply a matter of policy, but a collective responsibility that requires all Guyanese to transcend divisions of race, religion, and class. He said there is a moment just before dawn breaks over Guyana, between the old self and a new one. President Ali said, framing the traditional celebration of Holi not just as a cultural festival, but as a reminder of shared humanity and the strength found in diversity. Against this backdrop, he highlighted that inclusion should extend to all Guyanese, including those returning from overseas. I really do believe a whole lot of them will be returning to Guyana, even if it's not to, remain there permanently, but to probably reside in both places, whether it's come back from abroad and so forth, and stay there, whether it's 6 months and whatsoever, invest in business and build homes in Guyana again. He said, you're not visitors here. Your presence completes our circle, he said, while underscoring the role of the diaspora in the national development. The president further addressed social equity, noting that differences should not hinder opportunity or acceptance. As I said before, he's a president that really wants to serve all the peoples of Guyana, even those that opposed him in the election. He said, where the color of the child's skin matters less than the color of their dreams, where religion is a part, they walked in peace, class is a circumstance, we transcend, Ali said. The housing program launched in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is ongoing, according to Minister of Transport, Infrastructure and Physical Planning, Nigel Stevenson. Speaking at a recent West St. George constituency meeting, Minister Stevenson dismissed claims that the program had been discontinued. He stated that the new administration has resumed its quarterly distribution of building materials to support affected residents. Minister Stevenson added that individuals requiring assistance for housing development will continue to receive support. That is really good news. A lot of the times when one administration leaves and another comes in, the new administration basically ends all the different programs that existed under the former administration. A lot of times that takes place here in Trinidad as well. Thankfully, that is not the case.
Go back to the days of the New Democratic Party, materials were stopped every quarter. Every quarter. So those persons who needed help could have gotten the help all year round. We are going back to the foundation of the New Democratic Party. So, election materials is a thing of the past. We will bring materials according to the needs of the people of our country. Is the assessor in your community, in your constituency. We are going to have this program to look at the general housing needs of our country. So if you are not affected by Hurricane Beryl and you are in dire need of assistance to get your houses repaired, we have a program to deal with that.
With Barbados and the Caribbean together needing at least US $65.2 million in financing by 2033 to prevent stagnation, Caribbean Development Bank CDB President Daniel Best says the bank is making major progress in securing new funding. The CDB will also be launching a Euro medium-term note program, enabling it to raise up to US $1 billion over 3 years to lower the cost of capital and unlock the private investment our region needs to grow, the official went on to say. He announced this while detailing the approval of a new 10-year CDB strategic plan for regional development, one focused on building social, economic, and environmental resilience. This came as director of projects. O'Reilly Lewis reported that in 2025, the bank significantly expanded its financing to borrow member countries, approving US $464 million. That's a lot of money, people. A 50% increase over 2024 and disbursing over $429 million, $30% more than in 2024. Now, of course, it's good. This is good news. But what I would like is to see these first world nations not only using these banks to loan money to Caribbean nations, but invest, people. Invest. Especially when you don't have to do it like it just under normal circumstances. But when places like, whether it's St. Vincent and the Grenadines or Jamaica experience natural disasters, don't lend them money to recover. Donate it. Send it to them. You don't lend money to Hamas in Gaza. You give it billions of dollars being spent in humanitarian aid in Gaza. But you're always lending money to us here in the Caribbean. Nassau, Bahamas Prime Minister Philip Davis has hailed a landmark arbitration ruling in the government's dispute with Grand Bahama Port Authority as a historic win for the country. He said this tribunal has also confirmed that the government has the authority to govern Freeport, because yes, of course, the people's elected representatives must have the power to prefer and promote Bahamian employment and ownership anywhere and everywhere in the Bahamas, Mr. Davis said during a national address Tuesday night. Politics quite interesting in Bahamas, you know. He noted that the tribunal ruled that the Port Authority is legally obligated to make annual payments to the government and people of the Bahamas for the remainder of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement through 2054. That's a lot of time. This is about fairness. It is about replacing drift and decline in Freeport with investment and opportunity. The Prime Minister added, highlighting the long-term economic significance of the decision. International news now. A missile site of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps in the city of Yazd in central Iran was attacked early last night in airstrikes by the US and Israel. According to reports, the strike targeted missile infrastructure of the Iranian regime as part of a widespread wave of attacks against military targets in Iran. Thankfully, it seems as though Trump and, of course, Netanyahu is finishing the job in Iran this time, which will hopefully restore democracy in that country after over 40 years of the Ayatollah ruling that nation with an iron fist. Fox News poll. The results are in on President Trump's job performance, with 57% of voters disapproving, 43% approving. I don't find this that bad. Border security is the president's only issue in which more voters approve of him than disapprove, with 52% approving and 48% disapproving. I'm quite sure almost all of that 48% are Democrats. His ratings are underwater by 35 points on the cost of living, 27 points on tariffs. He really overdid with the tariffs too. 23 points on the economy and healthcare, 20 points on foreign policy, 19 points on taxes, 13 points on jobs, and 6 points on immigration. Broken down by party, 95% of Democrats are unhappy with the job Trump is doing, while 87% of Republicans approve. I'd say a significant amount of Republicans still, though, 87%. Among independent voters, 72% disapprove. That's where it is quite significant. Nevertheless, the thing about it is Trump is on his second term. So all this approval rating, I mean, it might affect his legacy, but he will definitely, as I said, he did make some errors. I think he overdid it with the tariffs. And, well, a lot of the other things that are affecting the country is basically because of probably some certain little policy decisions that he's faltering in as well. But he definitely will be remembered, people, as Israel's greatest ally as an American president. And for that, people, God will bless America because of Trump's decisions recently. Now, I will continue to say I don't like how he basically publicly sounds as though he controls Israel. But thankfully, what I've seen in the past few days shows that he definitely respects and values Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu as an ally in a way that a lot of us were doubting for a while now. Now, for the interesting facts segment, Robin Williams was admired not only for his comedy and acting, but also for quiet generosity behind the scenes. He really was a wonderful comedian who passed away a few years ago. Of course, reports from the 1990s say he added a clause to some film contracts requiring studios to hire people experiencing homelessness as paid extras or crew members, giving them an opportunity to come out of that life. Inspired partly by his work on The Fisher King, he aimed to offer dignity and short-term income to those in need. Colleagues and charities have said his efforts helped many individuals find work, reflecting his deep commitment to compassion.
Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News Travel Segment. Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, is Vietnam's high-octane economic heart, blending frenetic energy with deep history. Visitors experience a mix of French colonial landmarks, modern skyscrapers, bustling street markets, and famous war era sites. It is a vibrant, culinary-rich metropolis offering 24/7 life, accessible culture, and intense moped-filled traffic.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.